All right, welcome. Today, we are diving into something we all use literally every single day, but probably don't think twice about, our Wi-Fi. And it turns out that amazing convenience that we all love, well, it comes with some pretty significant hidden risks. So let me just ask you this straight up. Is your Wi-Fi, whether you're at home, grabbing a coffee, or at the office, really as safe as you think it is? I'm going to bet the answer is probably no, and today we're going to unpack exactly why. Okay, so let's get right into the heart of the problem, what I like to call the wireless weak spot. You see, with all the incredible advancements in tech, the very thing that makes Wi-Fi so great, its convenience, is the exact same thing that makes it such a juicy target for attackers. Now, this is where it gets really interesting, because it's not just one thing. It breaks down into three key areas. First, you've got the obvious stuff, the dangers of public Wi-Fi, which, is often totally unencrypted. Then, and this might surprise you, there are the limits of even the newest WPA3 security. That's supposed to be the latest and greatest protocol, but it's not a silver bullet. And finally, the one that gets us all, simple human and corporate errors. We're talking weak passwords, not updating your router, that kind of thing. And wow, this slide just lays out the risk of public Wi-Fi perfectly. On the left, that's what a hacker sees if they pull off a man-in-the-middle attack. Your data, your passwords, it's all right there, clear as day. But look at the right. With a VPN running, all they get is a jumbled, unreadable mess of code. It's a really simple tool that makes a massive, massive difference. So this all leads to a really important idea. If you want to build a strong defense, you've got to learn to think like an attacker first. And that's exactly what this next part is all about, how the security pros do just that. And this is where a tool called Websploit comes into the picture. Now I know, the name sounds kind of intimidating, right? But really, you should think of it more like a diagnostic tool, like a stethoscope for your network. It's what ethical hackers and security pros use to find the cracks in the walls before the bad guys do. Which brings us to the really cool part. We're going to go inside an ethical hack. Now, let me be absolutely 100% clear here. This kind of stuff is always done in a controlled, safe, isolated lab environment. The goal is never to cause harm. It's all about learning, finding weaknesses, and making our defenses stronger. So how's it done? Well, here's the playbook. First things first, you isolate the network. Take it completely offline. Then, you use virtual machines to pretend you have other devices on the network, so your actual computer is never, ever at risk. After that, you install Websploit, and you intentionally build a weak test network, just to see what happens when you poke at it. So, for this particular lab scenario, we've set up a network with a super common, really weak password. The plan is to use Websploit to run something called a dictionary attack. It's basically an automated process that just throws thousands of common words and phrases at the password prompt until it gets a hit. And here it is, the big aha moment. Password compromised. And look at that time, 90 seconds. That's it. This is just such a powerful demonstration of how frighteningly fast an insecure setup can be totally broken into. I mean, seeing that is pretty stark, isn't it? It just begs the question, if breaking in can be that quick and that simple, why do so many of our digital defenses just fail? Well, this chart really spells it out. Whether you're a giant corporation or just you at home, these are the big reasons. The number one culprit? Simple complacency. That feeling of, it won't happen to me. Then there's a lack of resources. Maybe a company doesn't have a big enough IT team, or at home, you just don't have the time or knowledge. And finally, things are just complex now. The more smart speakers and cameras and TVs we add, the harder it gets to secure every single little entry point. Okay, but listen, it's not all doom and gloom. Not at all. Understanding the problem is always the first step to actually solving it. So now we can shift gears and talk about real, actionable solutions. Let's focus on how you can fortify your digital walls. All right, here we go. This is your tangible takeaway, a checklist that actually makes a difference. First, keep your firmware updated. This is not optional, people. It closes the back doors that hackers are actively searching for. Second, strong, complex passwords. We just saw a password get cracked in 90 seconds. Password 123 is not going to cut it anymore. Third, always use a VPN on public networks. Remember that earlier slide? It's the difference between shouting your secrets and making them invisible. Next, especially for businesses, segment your network. Think of it like putting your most valuable stuff in a safe inside your house, which is already locked.
And finally, train people. Technology is only as good as the person using it.
So, if there's one thing you take away from all this, it should be this. Security is not a set it and forget it kind of deal. You have to be proactive. The only way to stay one step ahead of the threats out there is to continuously test your own defenses.
And that really leaves us with this final thought. Your network is already being tested every single day by automated bots, by real attackers, all looking for a way in. So the only real question is, who's doing the testing for your side? Are you going to be the one to find the weak spots first, or are you going to let them do it for you?